What's up, Panther fans? This is Panthers Roar 89. Man, it's been a while. I haven't been on here in a long time, and it feels good that football season is right around the corner. I wanted to do it a little different this year. Instead of me just talking blindly into a camera, I thought it would be better to give or better viewing experience to kind of show what I'm looking at. And so just to get into it, let's kind of go in the time machine here to the end of last season. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I think we made a lot of good moves. We obviously didn't bring back Steve Wilkes, which I was honestly disappointed at, but I get it. It's an offensive league. He's a defensive mind. Not a lot of guys playing great defense and run games winning Super Bowls right now, but in his defense, he has Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and P.J. Walker as the horse in the stables. I don't think that's necessarily fair judgment, and what he was able to get out of this team last year after they were in disarray, all hope was given up, I think is really impressive. So going into this year, no Matt Rule, no Sam Darnold, no Baker Mayfield, no Temple players on the roster. I'm excited. This is the first time I've been excited for Panthers season going into the year in quite a few years. It's looking a lot better. We hired Frank Reich, and I think he's actually a pretty good coach. I think it was a good hire. Don't hold it against him that he was fired in Indianapolis. That pill-popping owner is a mess. He cannot be easy to work with. I mean, look what they got going on with Jonathan Taylor right now. It's not a well-ran organization, in my opinion. So I don't hold him getting fired. I think he was fired against him, right? So I expect our offense to improve quite a bit along with the changes that we made. Painfully, we did have to give up DJ Moore to get that first overall pick. That one hurt. DJ is definitely my favorite guy on the team at that point. But if you don't have a quarterback, you can have 3 DJ Moores out there. It ain't going to matter, right? If Sam Darnold's throwing the ball, good luck. So I love the pick of Bryce Young. I didn't watch a ton of Alabama games, but from what I've seen and what I've seen in the preseason, I think he is going to be a big upgrade, right? He seems like a really nice guy, all the way there mentally, works hard. The only part that I maybe question a little bit is I don't know how much of that dog he's got in him, right? That Patrick Mahomes, when he, mess up his knee, hey, I got to get back in there. Maybe he's got a lot of that. I don't know, right? It almost seems like maybe he's too nice, but I'm not going to say that that's the case. We'll see how he does, how he reacts, right? I think he's going to be pretty good, though. So high hopes, obviously, and when you give up as much as we did, it better work out. Also getting Jonathan Mingo, try to replace DJ. I liked that pick. I think he's going to be pretty good. I don't know how much he's going to play this year, but I think it was a good pick. Then free agents-wise, I mean, we got Adam Thielen. I think he's kind of towards the end of his career, obviously, but a good guy to have and someone that's going to help Bryce Young develop. Hayden Hurst, I think, was a great pickup. He's got that dog in him. I think he had like 400 or 500 yards last year. I expect he might have 700-800 yards this year. I think he's going to have kind of a breakout year. And then DJ Shark, pretty good pickup. Andy Dalton, I'm glad to see the coaching staff is not fucking around and starting him. I was really afraid they were going to do that, but he will be just playing that mentor role, which is great, and he's a good backup to have. So no problems there. Deontay Foreman, losing him kind of sucked, but other than that, we didn't really, I feel like, lose a whole lot. We really just gained assets. Right, and we get that same production out of Miles Sanders that he was on the Eagles, we're gonna be really good. So I like the free agency moves. I like what the team's done. Last thing we got to do, you got to pay Brian Burns. You've been paying bums Tepper for all these years. You bust out the checkbook for Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Robbie Anderson. I mean, the list goes on. Like, dude, you pay the guy that's actually good on your team. Like, stop messing around. What are you doing? Pay him. But let's break down. I'm not going to spend really any time on the preseason. I don't even know why we have it. The starters are playing like 3 plays. Like, let it go. It's we lose, to the Jets, lose the Giants, lose the Lions, whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to spend any time on it. I think it's irrelevant. So starting week 1 against the Falcons, I'm going to just predict right now that we sweep the Falcons and we sweep the Buccaneers. I think they are not going to be good. I don't believe Desmond Ridder is any good. I don't believe Baker Mayfield's I know Baker Mayfield ain't no damn good. I know that. So I'll say we're going to win both. We're going to sweep them. I'm not questioning that. So I think we come out the gates, we get a win there. Saints, now they're an interesting team, right? A lot of talent. Derek Carr usually starts out the season hot, then kind of fades. But they have a lot of talent on that team. I see why people are picking them to win the division. I don't think that's necessarily wrong, but I think we split with the Saints like we do a lot of years. But I think we can start out 2-0 there. Go to Seattle, always a tough place to play. I don't know. We'll see if Geno Smith was just an out-of-body experience last year, or he's actually pretty good. So I don't know. I don't think you ever really predict a win going to Seattle. So say we go to 2-1 there. The Vikings, I think, are going to be one of the teams to take a big step back this year. They lost Thielen, lost Cook, and I think they just kind of had a horseshoe up their ass last year. They had like the biggest comeback win in history. I think they were just kind of really lucky on some games, and I expect them to take a step back. So I think, honestly, we start out 3-1. Go to Detroit. I think Detroit's going to be a pretty solid team this year, and for whatever reason, I feel like we've always struggled going to Detroit. So I'd say probably lose that game, right? Go 3-2. Not a bad start. The Dolphins, I think they are going to be the biggest disappointment in the NFL this year. They have a ton of talent, Tyreek Hill, bring in Jalen Ramsey, but Tua, he struggles to stay healthy. They have some thin spots on that team. I would not be surprised if we won that game at all. I wouldn't be surprised one bit there. I think that could definitely be a win. Texans, feel bad for C.J. Stroud. That's going to be a rough one for him this year, but that should be a game we win, especially at home. Battle of the number 1 and 2 picks there. The Colts, again, kind of a mess. Watching Richardson in college, honestly, I didn't think he could play in the NFL. I didn't think he could throw a ball. But seeing a little bit of his preseason and, hearing about his work ethic, I think he's actually going to be pretty good. Still think we get the win, but I think he's going to be pretty good. I think Indianapolis will be happy with that pick. Chicago, a little DJ Moore revenge game. Hopefully he doesn't go Steve Smith on our ass, or else it's going to be a long day. That's going to be a tough one. It's going to be cold as shit, Chicago. Thursday night game, short week. That's not a game you probably win, right? That one, not anticipating. Cowboys, always most overrated team, most talked about team, undeservingly. But if they're as good as they were last year, which they may or may not be, that may be a game that we lose, right? They're pretty good, so we'll see. Titans, they're an interesting team. I feel like a lot of veterans there. It could go one way or the other, and Hopkins and Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. I don't know. I could see us getting that win, but I don't know what to make of the Titans. I could see them being a playoff team, but I could see them being like top 5 worst teams. I don't know. But say we go to, Tennessee and lose. Tampa Bay, we know we're winning that game. Saints, probably lose in their house. Fair enough. We'll split it 1-1 with them. Falcons, we're winning that. Packers, going to be another interesting team. No Rodgers. Jordan Love, I don't know how good he'll be. He didn't look that great in college. Times I watched him, and he looked okay last year. So, I don't know. I think that's a game we could win, definitely. Jacksonville, I think they're going to be pretty good this year. Not a game I necessarily anticipate winning. So I can see that definitely being an L. And then we close out with a win against Tampa Bay. And I think this is honestly could be a 10-11 win season. And maybe I'm way off. Maybe I'm up in the night over here. But that's fine. We got to have some hope. But honestly, I think we got a pretty favorable schedule. And, maybe we end up only winning 4 games this year. That's fine because, this is going to be a much more exciting year than it has been in the past. I don't think we're only going to win 4 games. I think we're going to be better than that. But who knows? It's the NFL. But we do have, I think, a favorable schedule. And I'm excited for it. And we'll see how it goes come Sunday. But football's back. And honestly, I've been able to say this in a while. I've been pretty happy with the Panthers front office decisions. Just need to get the Brian Burns deal done, and then we're all set. But I think that's about all for this video, so thanks for watching. Go Panthers.